Welcome back. Magandang gabi. You're still watching our special forum on stem cell treatments. May iniwan si Cathy question.
Kanina kasi sabi ni Dr. Lerchon, kailangan caution and regulation sa paggamit nitong treatment na ito. Pero tanungin natin si Dr. Puyat, doon po sa base po sa experience ninyo sa Asian Stem Cell Institute, ano na po ba yung talaga mga nagamot nyo na? And talaga nga po bang marami and talagang yung success rate po ba nito ay mataas?
Okay, number one, in our institution, we don't guarantee results. So, hindi po kami nagsasabi na kapag nagpa-stem cell kayo, ay garantisadong gagaling kayo. Okay? It is of your own free will kung gusto nyong magpagamot o hindi. We will say all the basic facts na alam namin at ang desisyon ay nasa sa pasyente. Ang mga nagamot na po namin doon ay unang-una, nakagamot na po na kami ng autistic patient. Okay, and the first improvement that we usually see is eye contact. Because autistic spectral disorder, magulo yung bata noon, walang eye contact. At ginagawa po namin ito ay, ang nakita namin unang pagbabago ay yung eye contact. And from there is improvement of the patient. Okay, to cite an example, we had one patient na pumunta sa amin, walang eye contact, less than 2 seconds, palaging malikot, nagtatantrum at lahat. At pagkatapos po ng stem cell transplantation, unti-unti po after 5 months, nag-uumpisa na siyang tumingin sa magulang. Okay? Tapos nung Pasko, sumulat nga po yung magulang na first time ever, yung pagbukas ng regalo, na-appreciate niya yung regalo samantalang dati hindi. May mga ganun pong storya. Pero hindi naman po ibig sabihin na lahat ng stem cell transplantation equal ang effect sa lahat ng autistic children.
Interesting, Cathy, yung epekto nito. No? Pero didetalyehin natin yung kung gaano ka-epektibo ito. Bago natin yan ang reaksyon si Dr. Lechon, gusto ko munang itanong si Ms. Carion. Kanina kasi nabanggit nyo yung medical tourism. Gaano kalaki itong negosyo na ito sa Pilipinas?
Ay, malaki na malaki. If only we get right to it, ay, naku, everybody will be coming here. You see, there's a lot of lobbying in the United States, that the big pharmaceutical companies are lobbying against it because they will lose a lot of money. You see, the one who started the embryo, right? And President Bush said no embryonic stem cells research. When he said that, I was just in Salt Lake City, and all the doctors there were saying they were grateful to Bush because that made them start looking at other places. Look at their research in your own body, and they found that you can use your own body. So they removed embryonic. They're not even use it anymore, the embryonic stem cells. So they discovered that your own body can take care. It heals for itself. So that is an important factor, so this one, if we get it right with the Department of Health, everybody will be coming here, I'm telling you.
Pero gusto ko rin malaman, syempre na pag-usapan natin yung mga diseases na pwedeng magamot dito sa stem cell. Pero paano nga po ba itong prosesong pinagdadaanan ng isang pasyente? Tanungin po natin si Dr. Mancao, ano po bang prosesong isinasagawa nito from extraction hanggang sa paglalagay po nitong stem cell sa kanyang katawan?
Ang familiarity ko kasi ay nasa adipose-based.
Okay.
Magtatanggal tayo ng mga 100 to 200 ml ng taba doon sa, anong tawag nito, sa puson, banda. I-separate namin yung taba galing sa stem cells. Yung stem cells naman, may bagong teknolohiya ngayon, panggising ng stem cell. Ang problema sa stem cell, natutulog siya eh. If you were 10 years old, may scratch ka, in 3 days, wala na yung scratch. At your age now, 3 days, nandun pa rin yung scratch. Naintindihan nyo? Kasi at 10 years old, ang active stem cell sa katawan nyo is more than 80 million. But perhaps at your age, mabuti na lang kung may 10 million ka. So as it grows,
as you grow older, years ago,
when you hit critical age, ayun, the stem cells also sleep. Remember, growth hormone goes down at 20.
Yeah, I regret
Sa mga
that.
babae naman, yung progesterone, estrogen goes down at about 35 to 40. That's why wala na silang brake fluid, clutch fluid, engine oil, wala na.
Parang kotse lang.
And this is a sign of stem cell failure. But the stem cells, nandun, natutulog lang sila. They just wait for you to awaken it. And the most common trigger is injury or wounds. Kapag may sugat, yung mga platelet, yung mag-stop ng bleeding, but they release a lot of growth factors and chemokines and cytokines to stimulate the sleeping stem cells. Oh, gising na kayo, trabaho kayo. But there's a new technology now to wake up stem cells, which is photoactivation in 3 frequencies of light.
Sige.
So,
Can I
yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Because I know his system, no, and I really like it. And what I'm trying to say, before the extraction of your stem cell, we have 1 week that we detox you. You get your blood cell, we get your blood reading of your blood, and we have to detox 1 week. You don't eat anything except what we give you, and then after that, when we see that you're ready, that when we extract. You missed that, doctor.
Pero ito gusto natin
Si Dr. Puyat,
Yeah,
may gusto
sure,
niyo dagdag.
Dr.
Okay, it's not just a matter of doing stem cell. Kailangan, number 1, kailangan ng history taking, laboratories have to be taken, and evaluation, proper evaluation is given to the patient. Okay, a detailed social history, surgical history, lahat yun kailangan i-evaluate. Even yung hormone panel test, kung matanda na ang pasyente, ay kailangan din gawin. Kailangan ihanda ang pasyente, hindi lang basta-basta pumunta ngayon, gagawin na natin ngayon. May preparasyon po doon. In fact, it has also been found out na hyperbaric therapy increases the amount of stem cells by 8 times. That's evidence-based by studies. It has proven that too. Okay? So, hindi basta-basta lang yung pagdating sa'yo, i-iniksyonan ka na ng stem cell. Hindi po ganun yun.
Pero Dr. Liachon, merong mga kwentong ganito. At going back to what you mentioned earlier na proseso to determine the efficacy of a drug, kung halimbawa yung 3 stages of testing na kailangan para talagang magarantya na talagang epektibo ito. How can we, since this is already going on, how can the DOH somehow put a system to it, put some regulation to it, without depriving people of the benefit?
Okay, before ko sagutin, gusto ko lang yung point ni Dr. Puyat about yung ethical considerations. Lahat po na mag-undergo nito, kailangan po ng waiver, disclosure, tama ho siya. Para sa ganun, mapangalagaan mo yung sarili mo, yun ang kailangan. Ngayon, tungkol naman ho dun sa questions nyo, we cannot kasi do the process right now kasi wala kang past experience eh. So right now, ang ginagawa ng FDA at saka Department of Health and even abroad, ang submission niyan, of course, based on a wealth of evidence sa ginawa mo sa pasyente. At syempre, kung alin mong gagamitin, kasi ang ginagamit ni Dr. Puyat say leukemia or lymphoma, hematologic, walang problema dun eh. Ang problema for the other indications na binanggit na wala ka pa. So I think dun ang gray zone eh. Let me, without curtailing yung sinasabi nyo na pwede sa autism or what, no? But we need evidence on that, no? Perhaps ako, I would go for the approval, let's say, personally, I'm not saying I'm the Department of Health or the FDA. Right away, sabihin mo na kaagad kung ano yung indications mo based on the randomized controlled trial at saka sa US FDA. O, pwede siya dito. Para lahat na merong cancer sa dugo, leukemia, available na kaagad yun at pupuntahan na kaagad kayo. For those nasa gray areas ka, yun ang pag-uusapan natin based on the body of evidence na sasabihin mo. Anyway, sabi mo nga naman, free will mo naman kung gusto mo doon, kung yun ang last resort mo. Kung yun ang silver bullet para gumaling ka, and that's fine kung basta't meron kang disclosure. What I'm saying, para umarangkada kaagad siya, sabihin na kaagad talaga ng regulating body, saan talaga siya indicated. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng gamot, let's say, yun nga, sildenafil, sa erectile dysfunction, let's say, amlodipine or beta blocker for hypertension, yun ang indikasyon niya. So gamot ito, let's say stem cell, saan ba siya talaga effective? Ilabas mo kaagad yun para yung mga ngailangan nito makapunta na doon. Kasi ang dami namamatay talaga doon sa ganung klaseng sakit. Doon sa mga gusto mo siyang i-indicate, yun ang pag-uusapan natin. Yun ang subject ng regulation. Kasi ang hirap sabihin na pwede sa dito, ganyan, ay hindi naman natin pa alam kung ano yun. So, yun ang sagot ko. That is the long and short that. I'm sorry about it, but I think yun muna po ako. Para sa ganun, mag-benefit naman sila sa ginagawa ng ating mga experts sa stem cell for those approved indications in the United States at saka other European countries.
Dr. Mangkao, ano po ang posisyon ng Philippine Society of Stem Cell Medicine dito po sa proposal ni Dr. Liachon?
Tama-tama naman yung view ni Dr. Liachon, no? The position is, after exhausting all the medical avenues of trying to improve yung health mo. Pag wala na talagang iba, the best is you can now opt to do stem cell. But i-exhaust mo muna yung available medical methodologies para dyan. Hindi naman tatalon ka kaagad doon, no. The position of the society is simple. You go through your doctor process first, all the medical treatments available, bago ka pumunta doon sa stem cell.
Itong medical benefits ng stem cell na pag-usapan nga natin, pero yun nga, no, gaya ng ating nasabi, malaking industriya na po dito sa ating bansa itong paggamit ng stem cell sa pagpapaganda.
At importante sa maraming tao yung pagpapaganda.
Oo, kaya Doktora Puyat, talaga bang nakakapagpaganda ito at paano natin malalaman na yung ating pupuntahan magiging effective itong treatment?
Ito po ang background ko, no? I'm a dermatologic surgeon. So, nag-umpisa po ako ng stem cell transplantation nung 6 years ago sa mukha. Okay? I also used it for breast reconstruction at saka sa may puwet. Okay? Pagka hinaluan po natin ng stem cell ng taba, okay, the fat serves as a matrix at yun ang ginagamit po namin. Binabalik namin sa, halimbawa po, sunken na yung mukha ninyo, ilalagay natin sa cheek area, hollowness, at yun po ay nakakapagpaganda at nakakapagbata yung itsura mo. Okay, that's how I started, stem cell for regenerative medicine sa mukha. There's, ang paglagay po niya, depende kasi yun eh, at our institute, yung stem cell ay inilalagay sa ibabaw ng buto, sa may muscle, at saka intradermal. Okay, and you can see the improvement of that as you go on. Okay, and that one, I can prove that because I have a Vectra machine. It measures texture, it measures volume, and I've done a study on that one. So, in aesthetic medicine, stem cells really work. But I must warn the public na ang stem cell, hindi siya nakikita sa bote, sa lotion, sa sabon, sa syringe na nakalagay or vial na may nakalagay na expiry date after 2 years. Okay, stem cell is on the basis of live cells. Okay, ang stem cells ay dapat buhay. Okay, inaalagaan nyo yun and they are alive. Hindi pwedeng mabuhay ang stem cell dun sa
sabon.
Sa sabon. Okay?
Hindi. Stem cell flavored sabon.
Yes. So, nililiwanag ko lang po yun dahil madami pong issue na ganun na lumalabas na, ay, may stem cell dyan, mura lang, sabon.
Okay.
Hindi po totoo yun.
Alright.
Para yan yung glutathione, yung
Yes.
boom, no?
Oo,
Yes.
tanong naman natin kay Miss Cynthia Carion, Ma'am. Kayo po, can you personally testify na talagang epektibo itong stem cell treatment?
Yes, you know, I had no disease, no, but I also wanted to see the difference because but I have some knee problems and all that. So because I'm going to open a clinic, so I better try it first so I can sell the product. If it doesn't work on me, it will not work on anybody. So I did try it, and I should say my skin has improved a lot. When I used to exercise, I have some wrinkly skin, now it's all gone, and everything, and I feel great. I feel 20.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Maraming gustong maging ganyan. Ano? Si Dr. Mangkaw, sinabi niya kasi mahirap daw pong mag-explain dito sa stem cell kung hindi po kayo nag-undergo nito. Pakipaliwanag po, ano po ba yung mga changes and na naramdaman nyo? And how was the experience for you, Doctor?
It is a parang beta endorphin high. Yung energy level mo rin tumataas eh. And this is strange kasi normally at my age, I'm quite old already, yung energy levels mababa kasi. And if you do a lot of work from 7 o'clock to 7, talagang mababa yung energy
So where do you
levels.
inject the stem cell to have energy?
When you put the stem cells in, it repairs your body. Remember that. And if your body is tuned up, properly tuned up, then it can run like anything.
Okay, Kat, I want to ask Dr. Olarte na it was mentioned earlier na maraming gumagawa nito na hindi doktor. Kayo na rin po nagbanggit. Merong mga fly-by-night operations dyan kung sino-sino lang. Nilalagay sa sabon, nilalagay siguro sa kanin yung stem cell. How are you policing your ranks, Dr. Olarte? How are you making sure na yung gumagawa nito ay hindi mga quack doctors?
Well, ang Philippine Medical Association ay is an organization of registered physicians. So ang ang amin lang mga kasapi ang pwede naming ma-police, no? Mamumonitor. Yung hindi doktor, hindi namin mapupulis yan. Pero nadidinig lang namin na maraming nagbibigay ng stem cell na hindi naman mga doktor. In fact, kaninang umaga, sinabi, mayroon daw doon sa Tagaytay na nagbibigay ng stem cell na hindi naman doktor yon. Yan ay bawal. Hindi dapat pahintulutan ng ating gobyerno yan. Dahil that is practice of illegal medicine. 5 taon ang pagkabilanggo.
Okay.
Pagka ikaw hindi doktor, nagbibigay ka ng stem cell.
Yeah.
Si Dr. Liachon, from the DOH side po, meron po ba tayong attempt na yung mga maliliit nga na clinics na mga cosmetologist ang nagsasagawa ng ganitong procedure, meron bang attempt na ipasara o hulihin itong mga ganito? Kasi nga, sabi nyo, marami rin namang negative benefits pag mali ang nabigyan nitong ganitong klaseng treatment.
Dapat kunin muna natin yung konteksto. Gusto ko hatiin sa dalawa yung tanong mo. The first one, bakit ba nag-fail tayo sa health? The first one is about ignorance. We need to address ignorance by informing the public kung ano itong stem cell. And this is the first big step, right, sa nakikita natin. The second is about ineptitude, meaning to say knowledge exists, but you fail to apply it correctly. Ibig sabihin, alam mo yun, masama, and yet ginagawa pa. So, ang reason dito kasi ako sinasabi, competent ka ba, nag-train ka ba, ethical ka ba, and yet ginagawa mo siya sa dapat hindi gawin. Dapat meron ka ganong klaseng question. And then yung pangatlo, infrastructure. Yun dito yung papasok yung tanong mo. Meron kang tao, may proseso ka, may batas ka, meron ba tayong infrastructure to monitor itong mga to? And dito papasok yung ating tinatawag na infrastructure para sa ganun, ma-monitor mo kung talagang lumalabag sila, may fraudulent deals ba sila nangyayari. Yun ang kailangan nating i-set up. Okay? So, ako ang paniniwala ko, hindi natin pinapatay ang idea regarding stem cell. But I think we need to process this and regulate this. Kasi at the end of the day, ang ultimate stakeholder nito, pasyente. Ang ultimate stakeholder nito, pasyente.
Okay.
At yun ang dapat nating isipin.
Punta muna tayo kay kasama, Gio.
Doc, follow-up lang doon. Saan po yung mga pinakamainam na sources para makakuha ng impormasyon ukol sa stem cell? Para sa karaniwang tao lang.
Okay. Ang pinakamagaling na dapat sources sa kanila din mismo. Nakita ko sila sa Inquirer, meron silang summit, no? And that, ano? I think it's on
Yes, it's
August
in August
19.
29 and 30.
Oo. So,
Yeah.
gusto din natin matuto kasi this is quite different from my field, no? I'm reading a lot the last 1 month na on this one and excited siyempre kasi sa new science, no? So, we want to learn from this also. But of course, meron ka rin reservation in terms kung saan mo siya gagamitin. Forgive me for saying that, no? Kasi nasa regulation ka. Hindi naman kasi inapprovean mo, then you open the floodgates for everything. Hirap naman nun. And then everybody will say, oh, pwede kami kasi pwede rin pala sila eh. So I think dapat i-clear yun. And that particular summit of yours can actually be a venue where you can actually propose certain things based on the evidence presented. Yun ang maganda doon. And I think is a first big step din na magkaroon din ng proposal na isasabit siya sa Department of Health para sa ganun, magkatulungan.
Doc, may gusto po kayong dagdag ko dun sa...
Yes, I agree, no? Magandang idea po yung summit na yon. Nandun din po ako sa summit na yon. And I'm very open to other doctors na we work together and unify ourselves para magkaroon tayo ng tamang panukulang batas para mailabas natin ang tamang guidelines. Hindi lamang kapag meron lang koneksyon sa kumpanya na ito o ganyan. Ngunit, ang katungkulan bilang doktor talaga.
Maraming salamat. Tawagin natin si Edgar Roberto.
Magandang gabi po sa lahat. Kay Dr. Mangkaw po, sinasamantala ko po yung pagkakataon na to na nakikita po tayo on Nationwide TV or sa buong mundo nga po na sir, paano po ninyo masasabi o gaano po kayo kapositibo doon sa pananaw ng mga Pilipino na sige nga po lumalabas sa media na itong medicine na ito, itong stem cell treatment ay hindi ganun kapositibo yung response ng mga Pilipino. Sir, paano nyo po as representative po ng inyong society nga, paano nyo po ma-convince yung simpleng mamamayan. Sabi nga po ni Sir, ng ating doktor kasama dito, Sir Liang Chon po ba, na pasyente pa rin po ang makikinabang. Paano nyo masasabi na yung pasyente na yun ay yayakapin yung inyong panukala tungkol sa stem cell treatment po?
Ngayon, presently, ang problema lang ang stem cell, ang cost ng stem cell. And sana, in the future, just like what our DOH Secretary had said, cell therapy is the medicine of the future. Medicine of the future. Ang kagandahan ay stem cell is to whom it may concern. Hahanapin niya kung anong problema. You cannot do just study on diabetes because it will improve your osteoarthritis, it will improve everything, including erectile function and whatever, vision, even your mental function. So, kung anong kulang ng katawan ng pasyente during the time na infused yung live cells na yon, because of their capacity for homing, pupunta sila doon, aayusin nila yun. That is stem cell. They're too bright. And they communicate with each other. So, ang pananaw ko personally, darating din yung panahon because it can be done very, very cheap. Sa lahat ng mga ambulatory centers, ambulatory OR centers dito sa Pilipinas, madaling gawin yun. Technology is very, very easy. Ours is to do it safely. That's why nire-regulate natin. At we would like to have members who are competent enough na alam nila kung anong ginagawa nila. Bearing in mind that the patient safety is the number one priority.
Doc, sorry, a follow-up on that. May nagtatanong mula sa social media team natin, nahihiya ito magtanong. Sabi niya, curious lang po, how much po yung process o magpa-stem cell? O paano po ba yung pagbayad doon? Per injection po ba yung basis? Or
Live hindi lang per injection, it's an infusion. Sa side namin, we infuse it for 1 hour. But I do PRPs, yung platelet-rich plasmas with stem cells and fat as a scaffold. Ini-inject namin yan sa mga joints in severe osteoarthritis. Yes, it might be per joint or per place of pain because I do prolotherapy also. But in stem cell, it is per procedure. It depends because in bone marrow, it will be monthly ang pagbigay. So you have to pay a certain amount for that. Ang problema nga is the cost. If we could bring it down so that the ordinary Filipino can avail of it, mas maganda.
Mas maganda nga, no? Kung marami sa ating mga kababayan na makaka-afford nito.
Medicine of the future. Biruin mo yan?
Tatanungin ko mamaya si Dr. Mangkaw kung sabi nga niya, no, may homing parang sense itong mga stem cells.
Hinahanap ko ano daw may
Hinahanap
problema.
niya. Pwede kaya ang isang tao na, lagyan mo na maraming pera, gustong, hindi niya alam kung ano sakit niya, pero gusto niyang may total sense of well-being.
Yes.
Pwede ba siyang magpa-stem cell treatment?
Ayan, oo, kahit na walang sakit, ano? Ayan, sa pagbabalik po yan ang inyong special form.